I drove all the way to Tennessee. I spent a lot of money to go down there, and I got dodged on my time, and I don't think that's cool.
Because I
Pick him
didn't
up.
trust him to not show up with her. I was having anxiety, like I was having a severe panic attack. That's the reason why I didn't meet up with him, because I was worried that she was with him.
She decided she didn't like my plans for the day, and she didn't let me have my daughter.
What were your plans for the day?
I mean, it's irrelevant, but I was attending a wedding ceremony.
Yours?
It was. And Cassandra has blocked all my phone calls, so I don't have any contact. I messaged her and asked if I could talk to my daughter, and she said no, and she cut me off.
Next matter is Nigel Ingersoll and Cassandra Ingersoll, or Cassandra Varon, file 23-19438-DM. We have parties for that case. I do see Mr. Ingersoll. I do see Ms. Ingersoll as well. This looks like an order to show cause for contempt on custody and parenting time issue. Mr. Ingersoll, is this your
It is, Your Honor.
request? All right, why don't you go ahead and tell me what it is that you want and why you want it?
I would like some makeup time done in June. I came to court with you because I filed a motion to change my parenting time in custody. At that hearing, we established visitation, and I made a trip to Tennessee to see my daughter. I called in the morning. Long story short, she dodged me on one of my days. I drove all the way to Tennessee, and she acts like she can just control how the court is dictating our situation. And I spent a lot of money to go down there, and I got dodged on my time, and I don't think that's cool. And I think that I'd like to give it the court's discretion to somehow make this up to me.
Tell me in a little more detail what time you spent with your child and what time specifically was kept from you.
The first day I didn't get to see her at all, and then the second day we did go to that cool little dance party in the caverns, which was super awesome. I've got I don't know, four maybe 5 hours with my daughter, and then it ended in an argument and my daughter's mom saying things in front of our daughter and her other daughter that she definitely should not have been saying in front of children. So she dictated my first day, and we agreed on it. And then I only got a few hours the second day. We agreed on a time, and I drove all the way to Tennessee. And it takes me 10 hours to get there, and I got 5 hours total.
So what happened on the first day that you didn't have any contact at all with your daughter?
She dodged my calls. They went out to the park and they went out to eat. And because I stopped by the house, I drove by anyway, and there wasn't nobody there. I think Cassandra had to go to work, and whoever was with the kids who was gonna, they just decided they weren't gonna let me see my daughter. I had to make a stop, and
Did Ms. Ingersoll know that you were coming that day?
Absolutely. I called her at 7 o'clock in the morning. She answered, said that she'd call me when they get around. I sent her a text a little while later because I had a situation happening. I told her I might need a minute, and I called her as soon as I was done. And she flipped off. We got into a big argument over the phone, text-wise, and she didn't let me see my daughter because.
So what was the need a minute situation?
I needed to stop at the hospital. My significant other is currently, she's 7.5 months right now. And there was a situation where she felt like she should go to the hospital because she's going to be a first-time mom. And as a responsible father, I wanted to make sure that I took her to go take care of this thing. And I texted Cassandra and told her, hey, this is what I got going on. And we can get into it if you want, but long story short, she didn't let me see my daughter when I went down there.
Well, if you're not available to see your daughter because you're at, I'm sorry, Mr. Ingersoll, but if you're not available to see your daughter because you're at the hospital, how is she going to let you see your daughter?
I was available. How's
that?
I had a pit stop to make. Well, so I called at 7 o'clock in the morning. 3 hours goes by, and I try to call again. I get no answer. I get a text. I say, hey, I might need a minute. I had to make a pit stop. Her reasoning wasn't even my pit stop. It was like either way. I mean, I guess you could let her explain it.
Yeah,
If you
can I
really,
talk?
I'll give you a chance in a minute, Ms. Ingersoll. Just be patient. I'm talking to Mr.
Okay, thank
Ingersoll.
you. Yes, sir. Thank you.
Please continue, Mr. Ingersoll.
so Your Honor, I drove down to Tennessee. I called super early in the morning. She said, "I'll call you when we're ready." I had something come up. I said, "Hey, I might need a minute." When I was done with that, I said, "Hey, I tried to call. I stopped by the house. I texted, and she wanted to argue instead of letting me see my daughter." And then she let me see my daughter the next day.
When were you done with your pit stop at the hospital?
Maybe an hour and a half later.
What time of day?
Noon.
I wasn't there, so I can't tell you what day and time it was. You have to tell me.
It was noon, Your Honor.
All right. So you were available from noon forward. What contacts or attempts to contact did you have with Ms. Ingersoll to try to meet with your child?
I tried to call. I knew she was at work, but she had no problem communicating text-wise back with me. I made multiple attempts. I begged her. I pleaded with her. Like I'm any more attempts would have been pathetic. Like I think I tried hard enough. Like, and the problem is she doesn't have control of my life, and she's doing everything she can to control every situation because that's the only control she has left.
All right. Mr. Ingersoll, I'm more interested in times and dates and facts as opposed to opinions about the other party. So if you could help me out by
we had an agreement that I was going to come down on the 30th and the 31st of March. She knew I was coming on the 30th. I called at 7 o'clock in the morning. I tried to call her back. She said they still weren't ready, and I said, "Hey, I might need a minute." And when I was ready at noon, she dodged me. They went to the park and went out for ice cream or lunch or whatever else it was. But they did that to purposely dodge me, knowing that I was down there because she was mad about it.
Again, Mr. Ingersoll, I don't need you to tell me what you think she was doing. I just need you to tell me when you missed and what happened from your side, what you saw and what you heard. So is there anything else that you want to add?
Yes, that I went down to Tennessee and I didn't get to see my daughter on the 30th like we had agreed.
I got that.
Okay,
all right.
That's it.
Thank you. Ms. Ingersoll, your side of the story, please.
Okay, so my whole issue is that when we first went through this whole agreement, when we were in court with you a couple months ago, it was agreed upon that his significant other was not to be around the situation until June, when I took my daughter up there to meet her after all of this had gone down. She was not supposed to be down here. She wasn't supposed to be involved in anything. And he did call me at 7 o'clock in the morning. I answered. I said, "Give us a little bit to get ready." I got my daughter up, ready to go, all of the whole thing. And then I said, "All right, we're ready." And he said, "Okay, I got to go to the hospital." I said, "Oh, are you okay?" And he said, "Yeah, she's worried about something." So it's real convenient that 10 minutes before he's supposed to come meet up with us, his significant other, who is not supposed to be involved in the situation at all, needs to go to the hospital.
Ms. Ingersoll, hang on, slow down. I said the same thing to Mr. Ingersoll. I don't need the comments about what the other side is or shouldn't be or might be doing. I just need you to tell me times and dates and places. Who did what? I don't need the comments about he's bad or he's this or he's that or his significant other is this or that.
So I'm not trying to say that. I'm trying. Okay, but I'm telling you, sir, that it was agreed upon that his significant other was not to be involved in any of this situation until June. He chose to bring his significant other.
Slow down. Hang on just a second.
I did. Okay, I did.
Just you've told me twice now that it was agreed upon that his significant other would not be there. I'm reviewing. Hank. I'm looking at the order and I don't see anything in the order that says that. Can you point me to something that says that?
It was said on record. It was said on record by you that his significant other was not to be involved. It says in the record, details stated on record. His significant other was not to be down here and not to be involved in any of this process until June. He was supposed to come down here by himself 4 times over the next 4 months to spend time with his daughter, not be worried about his significant other.
All right.
So he brought her down here. It caused a problem. He had to remove himself from coming to see his daughter 10 minutes before he was supposed to be here so that he could take his significant other to the hospital for 2 hours. And by the time that 2 hours had passed, yes, me and my daughter had already gone about our day, and I had to be to work in a couple of hours. I didn't know whether or not he was going to show up with his significant other. I didn't, I knew what the agreement was when we agreed upon it, and I didn't want to be involved in that situation. So I gave that day a rest. I said, I can't deal with this today. It's too much for me. I emotionally, mentally, physically, I can't. Like, he has caused me severe PTSD, and he has put me in situations before that I couldn't get out of. And
All right.
and it makes me really uncomfortable.
Ms. Ingersoll, again, I don't need the details of why necessarily.
I understand.
I just want to know
trying to explain why. Okay, I'm just trying to explain why it made me uncomfortable that his significant other was down here. That's all I'm saying. It all intertwined. That's the reason why I didn't meet up with him, because I was worried that she was with him, and it was agreed upon that she wasn't to be down here.
What happened the second day that you agreed to allow your daughter to have contact with him?
Nothing. I went and picked him up from the hotel room. We went and did the concert as we were supposed to. Everything went fine that day up until I went to drop him off, and he wanted to bring up what happened the day prior and how I don't have control over his life, blah, blah, blah. I understand that. I don't want control over your life, but you agreed to not have her around until June. So there's no reason for her to be around until then.
So what you're telling me is the second day she was not there.
Correct. Well, she was at the hotel room. He left her at the hotel room.
All right. What prevented you from doing that the first day?
That part, though.
Mr. Ingersoll, I don't need your comments.
Yes, sir.
Ms. Ingersoll, what prevented you on the first day from, once he told you that he was available afternoon, from
because I didn't trust him to not show up with her. I don't trust him. I was having anxiety. Like, I was having a severe panic attack.
But you were able to do it
showing up with her.
All right, but you were able to do it the second day, right?
Because I took a breath, yes, because I let myself relax and I took a breath, and I wasn't going to meet up with him the second day, but I made an agreement in order to prove that he wasn't just going to show up somewhere with her. I said, I will come to the hotel room. You come outside by yourself. I will pick you up. We will drive the hour and a half it takes to get to the concert with our daughter together. And then when the concert's over, I will drive you back to the hotel room. That way I knew he wasn't just going to show up with her. I made a separate agreement outside of the first day's agreement, and we didn't have an agreed upon time the first day. He just called me at 7:00 in the morning and was like, all right, you ready to go? Like,
don't need the language.
Okay. Not even what I said.
Mr. Ingersoll?
Mr. Ingersoll. Ready? Yes, Your Honor. I did not use that language.
I don't need your comments either. So both of you just need to take a breath and slow down. So here's what we're going to do. The court ordered 2 days in a row weekend daytime visits. Through his own reasoning, he missed the morning of the first day. That's on him. Unfortunately for you, Ms. Ingersoll, it was on you that he missed the afternoon of the first day. So he's entitled to a makeup. You're supposed to have time in June here in Michigan, that there will be 5 consecutive day visits, no overnights, supervised by you or a designee. I'm going to add a half a day, 4 hours to that. So he gets 5.5 now when you're here, when you're here in June for him to have his parenting time. You can either do that, or you can give him some additional time on one of the other weekend visits that he's going to have in the state of Tennessee. Which would you rather have, Ms. Ingersoll?
I don't mind giving him extra time on a day he's down here. We've gone to the zoo since then. We've already had 2 other visits since this whole thing went down, and everything has been fine. And he's hugging me and telling me he misses me
Ms.
and all this
Ingersoll,
other stuff.
Ms. Ingersoll, slow down. I don't need all of the additional information. The question was, do you want to do it in Tennessee or do you want to do it in Michigan? So I assume that you want to do it in Tennessee.
Yes, that would be fine.
Mr. Ingersoll, when would you like to do the additional 4 hours in the state of Tennessee?
I was wondering if we could do it in Michigan. I mean, considering she's the one that violated the day, like, can I ask respectfully why we're giving her the, like, don't you think we should be asking me? I mean, can I get a new mediator? Is there any chance that we could get another mediator? Like, you know, every time I've gone down there, it's a problem. Like, I kind of feel like unintentionally, you and the courts kind of set me up to hang out with my ex-wife, and it's ended in disaster, in arguments. And I think it's slightly inappropriate, some of the things that she brings up and says in front of the children. And I would strongly urge this court to give me an option to have an additional mediator besides just her. Like, it seems like it's pretty closed off, and you know, I just got back from Tennessee, and this situation, you know, and,
right.
And by the way, the 5 days in June, that's unsupervised, right? Because that's what it said last time. It's supposed to be. Earlier in your motion, you just said supervised by her, and that's not true. Okay, I'm done.
The court order says in a 5 consecutive day visit, no overnights, in Michigan, supervised by defendant mother or her designee in June. So that's what we're going to do. The question is, when do we do this makeup 4 hours? Mr. Ingersoll is asking. Hang on, I'm not done. Mr. Ingersoll is asking for that to be done in Michigan. Ms. Ingersoll is asking for it to be done in Tennessee. I agree with Mr. Ingersoll because it was Ms. Ingersoll's actions that prevented him from doing it. We'll do it in Michigan. It will be added 4 extra hours to the time that she is here in Michigan. Your request, Mr. Ingersoll, for someone other than me or some other mediator is denied. No. I don't.
Your Honor, I don't mean you. I mean somebody to supervise the visits with my daughter.
No, you are the dad. She is the mom. You have. And the mom is
doing a bad job of momming, sir.
Mr. Ingersoll, I don't need your extra comments. You're the dad. She's the mom. The two of you got to grow up and learn how to be adults over your daughter. The two of you, if you can't, it's very obvious to me that the two of you can't talk to each other. That has to change. The only way.
Hang on, I have something to say. Can I say something, sir?
No, this is the problem. The two of you can't talk to anybody, period. No, I'm not listening to either of you anymore. That's why I muted you. Grow up. Act like adults, become adults for your child. If you don't, you're going to screw her up. We're done today. He's getting 4 hours in Michigan. I'll add it to the court order. Case closed.
She is not present. She's not logged on at all either.
Ms. Ingersoll is not present. It is now 2:22. This matter was set for 1:30. In the court's order dated 2/23 of 26, a review hearing regarding additional or ongoing parenting time was to be held on July the 10th at 1:30 in the Otsego County Family Court. So the parties have had notice of this today's hearing since at least the end of February. Mr. Truce, from your client's perspective, how did the parenting time with Roman go over the last few months?
So, Your Honor, in February, March, April, and May, Mr. Ingersoll traveled down to Tennessee, and I would say generally the parenting time there went well. I think there were some hiccups along the way, but ultimately, I think the parenting time there generally went well. In June, Cassandra was supposed to bring Roman here to Otsego County, where Mr. Ingersoll was supposed to have a visitation here. That visitation did not happen. Miss Ingersoll went straight through to the UP, did not drop Roman off. So that visitation obviously did not occur as planned. I would suggest to the court, I think, that continuing to expand the parenting time and custody here is appropriate, working towards, I would say, 50-50 custody.
What do you suggest specifically?
So we would ask for summers and holidays at this time.
Well, going from a few days at a time to summers, when you say summers, what are you looking for there? The entire summer, every other week? I mean, the parties do live in Tennessee and Michigan, so it's a little difficult transportation-wise with a young child.
So
Right.
whole summer would be appropriate.
Right, and Your Honor, that's why that suggestion is made, because that way the transition period could essentially be at the beginning of the summer and the end of the summer, recognizing, again, we're halfway through this summer right now. But again, the visitations have gone well. And again, I mean, the only hiccup in this appears to be, and I hesitate to say bad faith on the part of Cassandra, but I mean, again, Mr. Ingersoll made the trip to Tennessee every time he was supposed to, at every opportunity he had to see his child. So again, I would ask the court to continue to expand, even if the court didn't order summers at this time. I mean, I would ask for extended visitations. Again, we're continuing to build trust and rapport here.
Roman is 4, right?
Yes, sir.
And you were out of Roman's life for a little over 2 years. Is that correct?
No, sir, that is incorrect. It was under 2 years. It's like 22 months.
All right. That was the end of 23 to mid 25.
Yes, sir.
Did you have, Mr. Ingersoll, did you have any contact with Ms. Ingersoll as to why she was unwilling to drop off Roman on a trip to the UP?
I did. She called me. She called me 2 minutes before I was supposed to pick her up and threw a fit over my plans for the day. When she planned on dropping her off, even though it was supposed to be a supervised, she told me that she couldn't do your ordered 5 visits. So she was going to give me 2.5 days unsupervised, and I was fine with that until she decided she didn't like my plans for the day, and she didn't let me have my daughter.
What were your plans for the day?
I mean, it's irrelevant, but I was attending a wedding ceremony.
Yours?
It was.
Did you tell anybody about that?
I did. And I thought it was a gift from the universe that my daughter's mom was going to drop her off hours before I was supposed to get married. I took that as a little gift from the universe that just got ripped right away from me, because obviously neither one of them respect your orders.
Well, Ms. Ingersoll is going to address the court for her failure to appear today. I'll deal with that on a separate basis.
And Cassandra has blocked all my phone calls, so I don't have any contact. I messaged her and asked if I could talk to my daughter, and she said no, and she cut me off.
Mr. Ingersoll, when does Roman begin school?
I'm assuming August is Tennessee school year.
Will she be 5 this year or next year?
She'll be 5 in December.
If she's not 5 until December, they may not let her go to school this year. I don't know what Tennessee law is, but Michigan law, my memory is if they're not 5 by November, they typically don't let them go because they're too young.
They do have an early head start, Judge. I don't know if Tennessee has that.
Yeah, she
Maybe
may
a
be
head start
eligible for
issue.
like a
But she
Right. Yeah, so I hesitate, if she's living in Tennessee with mom, to give you ongoing, to make a schedule right now for ongoing past the summertime, without knowing that kind of information about what her school time looks like. So I can give you 2 weeks in August. That would give everybody time to plan it and to make arrangements for the transportation. But to go much beyond that, all right, here's what I'm going to do. 2 weeks in August,
Okay, can do whatever.
phone contact, 1 time per week, alternating holidays pursuant to the 46th Circuit Court, long distance schedule, and a review hearing. Let's put it in April of 27 regarding summer parenting time in 27. So you get your time for a couple of weeks in August for this summer. That will be here in Michigan, unless you want to go down to Tennessee. I'll leave that up to you. But
Your Honor, I've been down there. I've been down to Tennessee 5 times. I think it's time for her to come up here.
I kind of figured that, but you're going to have to make arrangements for transportation. That may mean that you have to meet her halfway, or you have to go down once and talk it over with your attorney. But you're going to have to work that out. So 2 weeks in August, phone contact once a week, ongoing, alternating holidays pursuant to the 46th Circuit Court long distance parenting time schedule, and a review hearing in April to get ready for the summer of 27. And we'll discuss what that means as far as parenting time at that time based on how things go so far. Mr. Truce, would you prepare that order and submit it to me, please?
I just want to make sure that I have everything. So phone calls once per week, alternating holidays pursuant to the court's parenting time calendar, 2 weeks in August. Is it just 2 weeks, or is there a specific time period we're setting?
No, 2 consecutive weeks. So that I don't want the child bouncing back and forth. So that's kind of what I gave him, a little longer period of time, so the child only has to come up once and go back once. At 4, that's a huge issue for the child, moving that much. So I want to do it once and have him have sufficient time to develop a relationship with her. So 2 weeks here, consecutive. It doesn't matter to me which weeks he picks, but we'll leave it at that.
Okay. And then review in April of 27 for summer of next year.
Correct.
I think I can handle that, Your Honor.
All right. Good luck to you, Mr. Ingersoll.
Thank you, Your Honor.
That's all for today.